Nobody else will be recorded but me. Awesome. So welcome you guys and good morning. Thank you for joining me in this sadhana, this morning practice. You can go ahead and find a nice comfortable seat. Make sure that you have plenty of room around you to move your arms without colliding into the space. If you need a little pillow to sit on, feel free to sit against a cushion. And the idea here is just to sit nice and tall in your spine. So be as tall as you can, palms facing up. Heart big and expansive here. And already just this posture is enough to get the energy flowing up the spine. But we're going to use the breath for a few moments here before our opening chant to sort of wake up the body and begin to get the prana flowing up through the spine towards the spiritual eye. So I'll be cueing this all throughout this class today. It's really the foundation stone of yoga practice. If you're not aware of your breath or aware of the energy flowing in your body, then it's just a calisthenics exercise. What really makes this a unifying practice is that we are becoming aware of what's happening while it's happening. So find your comfortable seat. And just in case anybody's bodies are feeling a little sleepy, let's just do some double breathing and tensing of the whole body, and then you can relax outward afterwards. If it's your first time, you take a double inhalation through the nose, and you squeeze the body until it vibrates. Squeeze the muscles of the legs, the belly, the chest. Hold the breath in, keep squeezing, and send the breath from the heart, out of the mouth. So try it again with lots of vigor. Squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Keep squeezing the muscles. Get your legs, your belly, your back, your throat, even your face, right from the heart. One more time. Invigorating with the will. Squeeze the muscles. 100% activity here in the body. And let it from the heart. Let's take a round of breath by inhaling. Reach the arms above the head. Face the palms down. Just gently bathe the hands down through the body. Feeling all that energy settling. Calming static of the mind. One more time. Just a gentle breath here. You're working with energy more than stretching of muscles. Just feeling a sense of quieting around the brain. If you feel you need another round or two of that practice, feel free. But otherwise, we're going to begin practicing Nadi Shodan. So you can take your, let's see, we'll do left hand. Actually, let's do right hand. It'll be a lot easier. And you're going to take your first two fingers and fold them down towards the palm. And if you know this practice, feel free to go ahead and start practicing when you're ready. You're going to take a deep inhalation in through the nose. Exhale all the breath out. All right, when you're ready, you can inhale to begin our first round. And you're going to cover the right nostril with the thumb. Exhale all the breath out of the left side. First round of breath here. When you're ready, inhale back through the left side. When you get to the top of the breath, switch the fingers and then exhale and let it come out of the right side. You do this, inhaling, reaching up. You don't have to wave your hands like me. Switch fingers at the peak of the breath, exhale out of the other side. In case you get confused, just exhale out of the nostril you're on, and you inhale, switch at the top of the inhale to exhale to the other side. Be mindful of the openness of your heart. Sometimes we begin to curl our shoulders forward in this practice. You can always use your opposite hand to hold your elbow. And the focus in this breath of the inner gaze is at the point between the two eyebrows, and there's a very easy way to gather the energy up there. When you breathe in, feel that you're breathing right towards the bridge of your nose, so the very top of your nose, and breathe that fresh prana right into the brain. And just like that, relaxing the body, soften the muscles, and feel the recharging of prana touching up into the brain and rinsing out to the other side. You can close your eyes if you'd like. We'll just take a few more minutes of this practice to settle the nervous system. Now, the more that you relax your body, the lighter the quality of the breath becomes, to the point where it's almost indistinguishable between inhale and exhale. This is what we're all working up towards. So that you could float a little feather underneath the nose and it wouldn't even wave in the wind of your breath because it's so calm and sweet. When you do feel that you're ready to end the practice, you can take several more rounds if you'd like. You end this practice by exhaling all of the breath out of the right side of the nose. So just go ahead and take these few moments here to finish your rounds. And the beauty of the practice is when you take that first full breath through both nostrils, palms facing up on the lap. So allow a nice gentle breath. Center your energy at the point between your two eyebrows and feel that rising quality of prana rising up the spine, left and right hemispheres of the brain, but also of the personality, beginning to balance. And we'll have a brief chant to get us going this morning. This chant is called the Hymn to Brahma, and it's a traditional chant that we play before meditation or asana practice chanting. So as you listen to this chant, sit tall in the spine and with a watchful inner eye, notice the way that these words are resonating in your field. We're singing the names of the divine, and that attracts an immediate blessing to our body, our mind, and our spirit. join our hands together in prayer, and we'll do the singing ohms together here. Allow a few moments of stillness and silence following the chant. Natural breath, relaxed body. Before rousing from the seat, let's draw the hands from the base of the spine, lifting the energy through the front side of your body. Draw a deep inhalation, guide the palms up above, and open the palms away from each other and spread the space around you, tracing the circumference with your hands. The body is light and the movement is effortless. Feeling a sense of weightlessness as the energy rising is what pushes your arms into the sky. The energy descending pulls the arms back down towards the earth. If you have the awareness to do so, when you inhale, watch as the energy rises up the spine. And as you exhale, feel a sense of expansion, a greater spaciousness all around you, between thought, between feeling. One more round, inhaling, and again, the limbs are guided by the energy rising in the body. And you'll know that you're in it when it feels effortless, it feels graceful. Take a moment here to tune in. Inner gaze, looking upward towards the spiritual eye. Whole body relaxed. The importance of this opening sequence is to remind us of the inner posture that we are practicing as we go through these outer forms or asanas, but to always keep the spine long and energetic, and to keep the energy circulating upward and then expanding out to fill the room. So you can open your eyes when you're ready to. Again, thank you all so much for joining this morning. I'm thrilled to practice with you. So you can go ahead and come out of your seat, and we'll just take a few moments here on the ground. You can lengthen the legs nice and long. Fingertips right behind you here. And let's start with the feet. So you can just wave the toes forwards and backwards a few times. Good. And then feet side to side. Try to relax the whole length of the leg and just wave the feet, softening. If you can keep your heart lifted and smiling, it's all the better for your practice. Good. And then stir the feet around. So getting into the ankles. Stir them around in a circle. Good, just like that. And then reversing the direction as you're ready. Remember, these are mindful movements, meaning that your body parts that you're moving are filled with the awareness of your mind. Good. Let's go ahead. We're going to push off the earth and lift the chest, flex the toes towards the sky, lift the chin. Good. Exhale, look to the belly and point the toes, round your back. Couple more rounds like this. Inhaling, toes to the sky, lift the chin, lift the heart, press out of the hands. Exhale, look down towards the belly, point the toes. One more round like this, inhaling to rise. If you can hover your bottom off the ground, that can be an interesting inquiry. And then exhaling, point the toes and lower back as you look to the belly. Good, we'll get into knees, so go ahead and bend your knees, feet settle down onto the ground. So rather than feet really close to the body, let them lengthen out a little bit here. Hands, fingers are pointing towards the sides, and just roll the knees from one side to the other. And you really want to roll all the way over onto the hip and lift the chest. Keep going side to side, looking in the opposite direction the knees are rolling. When you get this perfect, this little movement here, you begin to feel a similar sensation in the body like when you stretch first thing when you wake up in the morning. A little vibration, a little energization, maybe a yawn or two, so body stays relaxed. Your shoulders are like a hammock. Just lay the weight of your head into the shoulders. Next time you come through neutral, just go ahead and step one of your feet over. It doesn't matter which side you start with, and you're going to roll in the direction of that leg. So I'm going over, I'll do right side first for you guys. So roll over to the right side. It's just a moment here to peek in. Or not staying, then come back to neutral. You can unstep, come to the other side. You just roll to the direction of your top leg, in the direction it's pointing. Good. Just checking in, seeing what the spine is ready for this morning. Let's take feet nice and close together, and we'll start our first posture, Navasana or boat pose. You could take your hands behind your thighs and seal your elbows towards the side of your body. Nice deep breath to lift the spine tall here. And you can slowly start to rock onto the balls of the feet and let the toes lift. And for most of us, this is where we'll begin. Others, we may be able to free the hands. This is a great next step in your Navasana pose. And you really want to feel that sense of integrity through the spine, lengthening nice and strong. Good, steady breath. The affirmation within my every breath is infinite power. So when you breathe in this pose, it can be rather challenging sometimes to hold it. Others of us go a little bit higher and we lift feet. Just remember, we just started our practice, so be mindful of what the body needs. Within my every breath is infinite power. Take a few more rounds of breath here. Within my every breath is infinite power. Seal hands back into the heart and then set them down back behind the body and let the knees wave side to side. You really want to flush out the front side of the hip here. Let the hip flexor release. All the while the breath is long and deep. Belly is relaxed so that you can fill into the lowest regions of the lungs. And settle in here. Don't feel like because it's a warm-up you need to sort of just rush through it and be done with it already. This little movement has so much packed in that we might even not know is going on. How about the sides of your hips or the back side of your glutes rolling like a bowling ball from one side to the other? When you're ready, you can either keep your feet as they are and lift into your reverse table, or some of us, our bodies are already ready, we'll point the toes. Either way, fingers point towards the heels in this version. You're going to inhale and lift the hips. And then if you need to, you can exhale and you come back and down and just sit tall in your Dandasana spine. And then when you're ready, you inhale, come back up. Now some of us are prepared to just stay there and breathe. Doesn't matter about any sort of peak performance in your practice, but you want to find what serves you. In this version, you're either looking over the belly or looking to the ceiling. And we'll repeat the affirmation, holding the pose for at least 2 or 3 breaths. Use the easier one if you need to. With a burst of energy, I rise to greet the world. So wake your consciousness up. With a burst of energy, I rise to greet the world. Smile the last time you say it with a burst of energy. I rise to greet the world. And then you can slowly lower down. Neutral position is Dandasana, so fingers out to the sides, and you press off the earth to lengthen your spine. Toes point to the sky. If you need hands slightly behind you, feel free. Just sit tall in your spine and let all that energy flood to the spiritual eye. With a burst of energy, I rise to greet the world. Release one more full breath here, relaxing into the position. And slowly, you can begin to open the eyes. Good, so we'll go ahead and fold the feet around here and come on to hands and knees for a few moments. We're going to work into the hips to begin. Before we even get to the spine, take hands under shoulders and then take one more step forwards. When you roll forward, you're going to tuck your tail underneath. That means belly tones. And then when you exhale, push your hips out and around and behind. So it's a dual movement here. You're circling, but you're also rotating the pelvis forwards as you inhale and opening it backwards as you exhale. So if you had a tail, your tail goes up when you push back, goes under when you push forwards. And if you're clamping down on your jaw, holding on for dear life as your hips are beginning to open this morning, soften the jaw a bit. Open into the muscles of the face. You can scrunch the eyes. You can wrinkle the nose. The idea here is not to create more tension in the body, but to smooth and sort of start to soften here. So how about releasing fingers from the ground maybe for a moment? And then you get into the shoulders and let the whole body start to take on a liquid state as you dip the shoulders and lead with opposite. There's no wrong way to do this movement. When it's natural, you can reverse the direction, go as fast or as slow as you're desiring. You can close the eyes or keep them open. Just stay centered in the part of the body that is stimulated by the practice. When it's a natural expression to do so, start stirring now just the belly. So the hips stay almost in place and you roll the belly up into the spine and then let it bow back down to the earth. Good. Try this. When you drop down, inhale full belly. And when you exhale, empty the breath and pull the diaphragm up into the body. Again, don't worry about perfection. You're just exaggerating the breath. And then reverse the direction. Lubricating all of the joints. More importantly, you're softening the grip of habitual thought, of a fixed idea of who you are and what your body is to you. Come back into a free expression of consciousness. We're going to come into cat-cow expression. So when you're ready, you inhale and drop the belly. Pull on the heels of your hands as you lengthen your crown to the sky. And then as you exhale, I even like to come up on the tips of the fingers, look towards the lap, and relax the shoulders. Just a few rounds here. Any yogis wanting to play with an internal kumbhak or breath retention? When you inhale, fill the breath and pause at the top. Hold the breath in. When you're ready to, you exhale and release out and hold the breath out. Not to the point of panic or stress. Everything getting a little more relaxed and spacious. Let's go ahead and open up through the side body. So you can we'll do right foot first. Extend the right foot nice and long and wave that foot out to the side. And you'll set for your gate pose. What can be really nice is walk your hands over towards the feet or the foot and just bow your hips back a little bit. Breathe deeply here. If your inner thigh is really sensitive, give it a little rub if you have a free hand to do so. And then when you're ready, you can slowly come back to neutral and we'll walk our way up. So just remember, if your body feels tight, there's nothing wrong with you. Your body is protecting you. So we just have to soothe the body. Let's inhale and reach up into the sky. It can be nice here initially, take your right palm and the inside and press your other palm up into the sky and reach in this active gate pose. One of my favorite affirmation, waves of joy surge upward in my spine. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. You can say it internally, you can say it out loud. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. When you're ready for the resting phase of gate pose, you can drop your hand down to your thigh. You can skip your knee if you want to go a little further, and top palm flips towards the earth. And we rest here. Go ahead and plug your arm down into the shoulder and stay long through your crown. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. Feel the consciousness behind the words. When you're ready to lower down, you just bow this hand in front of the body, so left hand coming down and around. Come back to neutral for a moment. If it's okay on your knee, just pause here. You can have hands in Anjali Mudra and lift all that energy up to the spiritual eye. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. Oh, can you feel the consciousness? Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. When you're ready to bow out of the pose, just go ahead and send the arms back down to the ground. And you bend the knee to send your leg back. I would advise stretching that leg nice and long, point the toes behind the body, and then you can set it down onto the ground. Let's take a little intermediary journey here of inhaling, lifting through cow pose. Exhale, push into down dog, just a baby down dog, reaching back, looking towards, knees deeply bent, and then inhale and lower back and down. So you feel the sense of body control. You work to lengthen the legs, but don't force it here. Just keep breathing and relaxing until the body's ready. Strengthening and toning the thigh muscles. In the energetic body, the thighs hold on to fear, worry, anxiety, and sadness. So by strengthening, by toning these muscles, you're helping to push some of that energy out, to burn it off. You come back down when you're ready, and we'll set for gate pose on the other side. So left foot goes all the way behind the body, and then wave it out to the side. Bend the knee if you need to, but send that foot out. We're going to walk ourselves nice and low over towards the foot. Good. And you sort of bulge into this right side of your rib cage, and you can even look towards your left foot or shoulder. Long, deep breath here, supporting the alchemical process of transmuting energy, shifting the foundational consciousness that you are perceiving from. Your next inhalation takes you rising, coming through neutral, and then coming right over strong over this knee. We'll inhale and sweep the arms up into the sky. Everything nice and smooth here. So press that top palm up and out. Right hand is on top, left hand underneath, and you just reach up into the sky for the active phase. If you can become aware of the spine in this pose, there is an added benefit of becoming aware of the energy traveling through the posture. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. If you can say it with joy, all the better. And take a few more breaths if need be. When you come into the resting phase, just lower the bottom hand down either to the thigh, just skip the knee if you're going to go any further, and your top palm faces down. So if your shoulder feels taxed, slide the arm down into the shoulder joint. Reach with the spine rather than with your arms. And you'll find gate pose becomes a lot more comfortable. You can look over to the right side of the room if you'd like. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. Like a flower turning to the morning sun and opening its petals, let your heart open in this practice. Soften and breathe. As you finish the posture, you just let the top arm come down and around. If you can stand over on one knee for a moment, you can have hands on hips for support or hands under the heart. Either way, inhalation takes all the energy up to the spiritual eye, and we feel that sense of opening. Waves of joy surge upward in my spine. Beautiful. When you're ready to release, you just let the hands come back and down to the ground and bow your hips backwards, bending the knee. Take that foot behind you and reach behind as high as you'd like to go into the sky, and then go ahead and set the knees down. So we're going to come off the knees. Curl your toes underneath, press out of your hands, and we'll come right into downward facing dog. Good. Take a few swings, yes energy with the head here. Like a pendulum from front to back. Try squeezing the back of the neck as you lift the head, and then release on exhale. If you need to pedal out here, backs of the knees are a little bit stiff, go ahead, but just remember, send signals of relaxation to the body, of safety, that you are okay as you are. We'll do the affirmation briefly, but we'll visit later. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Try relaxing the whole body in the pose. Let the energy flow into you rather than feeling it's your own personal supply that is energizing your practice. Look to your lap for one final moment here, and we're going to lift our left foot in between the hands. Some of us like to reach up into the sky first, and then we send that foot between the hands. Good. Get onto tips of the fingers, strengthen your hands. Hand strength is very valuable in this world. And you stay here in your lunging pose for a few breaths. You're looking over the top edge of your mat, mainly just to get your crown nice and long here. Stay ready in the pose. Awake and ready. Good. We're going to rise up by first settling our back heel onto the ground. So toes are at an angle. This is your warrior two foundation. Step your left hand to your knee first and use that energy to push up and into your stance. Good. Once you get into a standing position here, I want you to energetically send your hands down into the earth. And like roots, great big tap roots, you're going to draw energy up through the soles and heels of your feet, up through your legs. Gather muscles of inner thighs. Lift to the pelvic floor, rise to the spine, and just like a flower blooming, unfurl the arms until you're in your warrior two pose. And feel how strong this posture becomes. And you're looking over this front palm, especially the middle finger line, which is ruled by the element of fire. No surprise of the symbolism used with the middle finger. There's an intensity. Use that intensity for good. Fierce willpower. Let's go ahead this time. We're going to drop the hands down. One more time. Inhale. We're going all the way up overhead. So lift the spine, lift solar plexus, heart, reach the arms up and around, and then exhale. Only for a moment we stay here and we bathe in the warrior two pose. Good. Turn your back palm down and your hips are following your hand. We're coming right into warrior one pose. Arms above the head. If your shoulders are up by your ears, relax your shoulders. Length comes from the crown of the head, not from the arms. And your fingertips are like little lightning rods, conductive, energized. The affirmation, I attune my will to the source of all power. Try to relax, but stay steady. I attune my will to the source of all power. Feel that solar plexus energy. Let's use the hands. Drop the palms down and around. We're almost done in the pose. Just stay steady. You're going to lift that fire. So when you inhale, lift the solar plexus and lift that fire right up through the body until the palms are back in the sky. And then repeat the affirmation with awareness of solar plexus energy. I attune my will to the source of all power. I attune my will to the source of all power. Gentle as you are, hands come down into the heart center. Some of us will take hands onto the hips. If you can take one big step, that's great. Feel free. If you need to take 2 or even 3 or 4, and we come all the way back to center. Shift weight right onto the other leg here. So we'll be on right leg, and you can circle out the left side. Keep the foot rather low, and your leg is like an empty coat sleeve. Just kind of wave it around in the wind. And then other direction, and flush that hip out. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms up into the sky. Exhale, hands into the heart, and just rest for a few moments. Hands can go down by the hips. Let's close the eyes. Rock forward onto the ball of the foot. Your heels are light, like you could slide a credit card underneath them. And you're lifting. Kneecaps are drawing up. Pelvis is lifting. Ribs lengthening off of the hips. Crown of the head rising, and you're looking at the point between your two eyebrows, feeling the whole body re-energized. The affirmation for Tadasana, I stand ready to obey thy least command. You are obeying your higher awareness, higher consciousness. I stand ready to obey thy least command. Ego always suffers from imposter syndrome. It knows that it's not cut out for the job and its responsibilities. And thus we find insecurities. This affirmation, I stand ready to obey thy least command. Let your life be directed by intuition. A few more breaths here, whole body relaxed. I stand ready to obey thy least command. As you're ready, you just slowly open the eyes. So we're coming to the front of the mat if you aren't already, and we're going to do opposite side. So send your left foot all the way back. Start with 1 step. If you feel comfortable with 2, go for 2. Any yogis that want 3 steps, you really want to descend into your warrior stance, feel free. Your hips are opening out to the side room here. Just like we did on the other side, every solid structure starts with a strong foundation. So push the feet out and away. Then when you inhale, draw the energy up to the inside of the thighs. This is your yin energy, drawing up into the belly, through the solar plexus, and you bloom that energy through the arms and look over the front palm. And if you really have that strong foundation, you'll feel the upper body feels like it is completely weightless. Even the extending of the arms, they seem to sort of just hover, defy gravity. You may need to lean forward a little bit more just to make sure your knee's tracking over your ankle. Some of us, our bodies want a little less. Relax your shoulders. And look over that middle finger line. We don't want so much fire that we burn ourselves, but enough to transform our consciousness, to burn away what is no longer serving our best and our highest good in this world. Good. Let's drop the hands down for a moment, and we'll draw another fresh breath of vitality. As you inhale, lift the palms up the body, this time all the way up to the sky. Exhale, spread that energy all throughout your field and your aura. Back palm faces down, and your hips are going to turn in the direction of your palm, and then you're in your warrior one pose. So you may need to adjust your base, but your hips are facing in the direction of your knee. Again, get a little softer in the shoulders, and then aspire through the crown of the head, like someone was tugging on your ears and you're floating up into the sky. I attune my will to the source of all power. When you're gazing, look at least to the horizon, but if you can even go higher, higher is better, without moving chin or head. I attune my will to the source of all power. Steady as you are in the pose. Let's dive in the solar plexus energy. Hands come down. Stay strong in your base and respectful of your body if you need to move. This time when you inhale, find that solar plexus energy and lift that fire. That's your self-control, your willpower, your sense of identity in this world, and you're offering that up. I attune my will to the source of all power. Beautiful job, everyone. Hands can come down into the heart. They can come to the hips if they need be. Again, if you can do one step, go for it. If you need a couple, feel free. Sometimes you could take even 4 or 5, depending on your knees. Once you get back to the center here, just go ahead and flush out that leg. So we'll lean on our left leg and send the right out to the sides. It can be helpful to float your hands here, give you a little balance, and then reverse. Beautiful. Feet step back down onto the ground. Let's send hands in front of the heart, and we're going to slightly bend the knees. Take a double inhale and open the arms with tension. Relax them forward. Again. Like you're pulling the curtain open and beholding the divine before your eyes. Exhaling to release. A couple more times. Right until the muscles vibrate, leave nothing on the table. 100% of your effort and your focus and concentration. One more time. And then exhale, relax, hands come back and around into the heart. Good. Rock towards the ball of the foot, close the eyes and look up to the point between your 2 eyebrows. We'll feel the affirmation of our warrior positions. I attune my will to the source of all power. We're bursting that limiting bubble of self-identity so that the infinite ocean of power, of vitality can flow into this body. Feel that energy rising with inhale up the spine and expanding and filling the room on exhalation. You might stay here for several breaths. When you're ready to open your eyes, you just walk your feet to the back of the mat. We'll take a nice deep bend in the knees, and until you can touch the ground, and sort of crawl your way into downward facing dog. With the spine energized, the body relaxing, settle into the pose and breathe. Don't feel that you have to fight your body. Better to bend your knees and relax into the pose. You're pushing on the tips of the fingers and the top side of your palms. Your shoulders are relaxed. Hips are up towards the sky. And you're looking towards your lap. We'll repeat the affirmation again, inwardly or outwardly, your choice. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Feel that consciousness pervasive through your body. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. It's like taking off a heavy winter jacket on a hot summer day. Release any burden of pressure on the body. When you're ready to lower down, you bend the knees and come right into child's pose and take a nice long rest. Be gentle with your body, arms reaching out nice and long, forehead towards the ground. Most important in this position is to breathe into the low spine. Feel a flood of breath into the kidneys and the low back. The organ of the kidneys and the adrenals tend to hold our fear and our worry. So breathe into that space. Let it flush out and feel your renewed consciousness rising up the spine. Energy going to the point between the two eyebrows as we close out in this resting posture. Steady, long, sweeping breath in and out of the nose. If you feel the body's holding a lot of charged energy, whether it be emotion or thought, exhale out of the mouth. Discharge that energy from your system. Some of our bodies may need to stay here a little bit longer. Feel free to breathe and express. For those of us who are ready to come up, you can start to rise up onto hands and knees. We're going to come into pigeon pose. If anybody wants to try this pose from the ground, if their bodies are maybe challenged, you step one knee up and you step the opposite knee back, and you just sort of scooch down into the pose. Now, some of us that want to go a little bit deeper, go ahead and lift your way into down dog. Go ahead and lengthen your right foot all the way up to the sky as far as it'll go, and then draw the right knee in between the hands and settle it down. Start with ankle underneath the hip, for especially if you're beginning in the pose. If you'd like to go a little deeper, swing the ankle out to the side. Just keep your toes flexed towards the knee to keep it safe. Back toes can stay curled or they can release. It's your choice here. Now, if this is inaccessible, there's an easier version here where you can swing the ankle out and just stay on bent knee, and you use the hands. This is a great way to learn how to come into pigeon pose. So you just need enough clearance of that front foot to send it out to the side. Everybody flex your toes if your ankle's turned out to the side. If you can lower down, use the hands to stay nice and steady. You're going to bow your chest and roll the shoulders up and then down and back, and then lift the heart forwards and upwards. Close the eyes here and repeat the affirmation, looking to your spiritual eye. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. Feel the consciousness. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. We're rising out of the duality of this world. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. You're most welcome to stay here in the active phase. Some of us like to come down onto our forearms, or at the very least, you just bow your head and release down. And if you can, keep that inner gaze at the point between the two eyebrows, even when you bow your head. So we're bowing the physical head, but the eyes don't go down. They stay looking up, just enough to stimulate here. I remember reading in some teaching along the way, either by Yogananda or Swami Kriyananda, that even as yogis bow their head at their guru's feet, they keep the inner gaze lifted. Relax the entire body for the last couple breaths. Feel the free travel of energy up the spine. It can be nice when you do decide to rise out of the position to come back into the active phase and feel all that fresh energy rising up the spine. Look to the point between the two eyebrows. Chin is sort of drawn slightly, not to discomfort, but slightly back towards the throat. And you think like a cobra, where it draws back, and the hood or the backside of your neck in this example expands out nice and wide. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. Stay as long as you'd like. When you do feel you're ready to come out, start by lowering the chest and transfer the weight into your hands. Tuck the toes of your back leg and back foot and lift that leg, push it to the hands, and then you should have enough room to come right into downward facing dog, or some of us will come into child's pose. And whatever position you can relax in, some of us, we can get into child's pose and find these deep realms of relaxation. Others of us go into down dog and we're finding that same feeling. If you can tune into the sense that the energy around you is breathing this body, and watch that process happen. The energy begins to rise and it draws the breath into the body. The energy begins to expand and it pushes the breath out of the body. If your awareness is very finely tuned, you might begin to feel energy rising up left side of the body on your inhalation, releasing out the right side. All paths lead to child's pose whenever you're ready, but stay in the position that you'd like to. Just take a few rounds of breath to rest before we do the other side. You start to get a sense rising up left side of the body, cresting to the spiritual eye, and then descending down right side. It's like a springtime flood pulling in all the debris on the banks into that river, whatever was no longer serving you. Each time the breath returns to the spiritual eye, we let go of a little more emotional, energetic weight. Easy as you are, the inhalation is the activating energy, and we start to rise out of our intermediate or resting posture. Again, if you'd like to come into your pigeon pose by drawing one of your knees a little further and then sweeping that foot out to the side, this may be as far as some of our bodies are ready to get. You might even come down onto forearms. If you want to go into the full version, just step back into downward facing dog. This time send left foot reaching, point the toes behind you, and then draw that knee up in between the hands. You can swing the foot off to the side here and just curl those toes up towards the knee. Will keep your body safe. So once you find a nice resting position, you find what works. Toes of the back leg can stay tucked, they can untuck. It depends on really how bony our knees are. The bonier your knees, like my body, the harder it is to point your toes. So I say that lovingly. When you're ready, you gently bow your chest forwards, roll the shoulders up by the ears, and then set them down and back. If you remember back to cow pose, if you pull on the heels of your hands, it will lengthen your low spine a little bit more. And it's so subtle, just these little micro expressions of relaxing and trusting. If you like to close the eyes, to feel the inner spine, feel free. All of our gazes will look up a little higher without wrinkling forehead or stressing the eyebrows. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. Good, calm, steady breath here. Remember, you can smile too. Deep doesn't mean serious. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. Take your resting phase of the pose as you feel ready. Remember, you can just bow the head is enough. Some of us can come down onto forearms, some of us can lay our bodies flat onto the ground. Doesn't matter so much what the physical body's doing. If your back leg is sort of just sleeping behind the body. Send quality of sharpness through the back leg. As you lengthen, it stays active. Stay a few more rounds here, breathing slow, steady breath. Until it becomes so light that we can't discern between inhale and exhale. The inhale is the rise in quality, so take your time. When you'd like to rise, you rise. And there's no sort of forcing back to open your heart even more here, but let the heart come forwards and then sort of at a diagonal upwards. You'll find that you can reach a little further. Look to the point between the two eyebrows, maybe another round or two of breath here. Rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. You're ready to exit the pose. Tuck the toes of your back foot under and transfer the weight into your hands. Lift the back knee off the ground, and then you should be able to lift your hips. Squeeze your belly, and then release that foot back behind you. Take downward facing dog if your body will allow. It's our last inversion before we come onto our back. So let that quality of energy rise up your spine with the support of gravity here. Try to relax your head by looking to your lap, and you'll find at the top of your spine, base of your skull, a beautiful window-like opening where the cosmic current flows into the body and recharges the body cells. Stay longer if you'd like. Others come down onto knees, and then we swing our feet out of the way, and we're just going to gently make our way down onto our backs. So let it be graceful, let it be interiorized. Knees come into the chest. If you'd like to do any twisting posture, you set the feet down on the ground and just wave them side to side, the knees side to side. If anyone would like to do an inversion on their back, go ahead and watch me first before you attempt it, and then feel free to stay in the pose for a few rounds of breath. So you can either just sit on the hands and send your feet up to the sky. Your hands are in soft little fists. Others of us want to plug the elbows in, and we sweep the feet over the face and press into your elbows. And that will afford you to lift the hips into your hands and extend your feet up to the sky. So find an inversion. You can always do bridge pose at the very least, lifting your hips off the ground. So breathing nice and steady here. Try not to look left or right. Just close your eyes and center all the awareness at the spiritual eye. If you're inverted, relax the legs, the hips, the belly. And a little tip, if you just look up with the nose, look a little down, you'll find a nice neutral place in the neck. And you want it to have a little curve back there. So not flat, meaning your chin is like digging in towards your neck, but also not chin lifted above the nose. So right in the middle. The affirmation for a supportive shoulder stand: awake my sleeping powers, awake. The This is our unlimited potential sitting right beneath the surface of our restless mind and heart. Awake, my sleeping powers, awake. Keep looking to the spiritual eye. Feel the consciousness. Awake, my sleeping powers, awake. Some of us may need to come down out of the pose and you just bend your knees towards your chest. Slowly release hips out of the hands and just relax there for a few moments. If you come down and your low spine feels a bit tight, wave your knees like windshield wipers side to side. So feet onto the ground, knees bent, waving side to side is a nice, gentle, therapeutic way to relax the low spine. And we'll come down into Shavasana, unless you need another posture. Shavasana's legs extended long, palms facing up by the sides of the body. Some of us may want a blanket over the body. And you shift your inner gaze to the spiritual eye. With as much confidence and decidedness as the king or the queen takes their throne, knowing they are the rightful heir to this kingdom. We seat ourselves calmly here. Release the body into stillness. Some of us may like to place the tongue at the point behind the teeth and the roof of the mouth. Some of us slide the tongue back further. It's not necessary, but it can create another degree of energetic connection in the body. And the final affirmation, and we'll relax in silence. Bones, muscles, movement, I surrender now. Anxiety, elation, depression, churning thoughts, all these I give into the hands of peace. completely still in this inwardly expansive state. Feel an expanding light from the point between your two eyebrows, effortlessly enveloping the entire body. Let this light shine deep into the cells of the physical body, into the darkened recesses of the mind, into the unawakened aspects of the soul in this life. Open the blinds of your soul to let this light, as deeply as it can travel, take a few more moments to feel the base of the skull receiving energy into the body. Let this light be so powerful and blinding that there is no perception of boundary or limitation, whether it be skin, thought form, just pure, brilliant light. So we're going to do a gentle tension throughout the entire body, not the vigorous style that we did at the beginning, but just enough to send a wave of awakening through the muscles and to flush out anything in the body that's ready to leave. So we'll take a double inhalation, just lightly tense, maybe to medium. Double exhale from the heart. Again. Let it move up. Squeeze it right up. Release. One more time, gentle wave. And release. When you're ready to wake back into the physical body, you can move fingers and toes. You can reach the arms above the head along the earth. Any little awakening movements that you enjoy in your practice. You can roll the head left and right. Feet can step onto the ground, knees waving. We're going to take our transition today by rolling off to the side, and on inhalation you can just press your way back into your comfortable seat. So if you need to stay resting for a few moments, feel free. Once you get into your comfortable seat, go ahead and take the muscle of the glutes and pull it out of the way so that your sits bones really feel anchored onto the earth. Your palms are facing up. They might start on the knees, but then begin to draw them towards the top side of your thigh. You'll find a sweet spot. No force or pressure. The heart just starts to bloom open, shoulders humbly resting down the back body. Take a little lift and lower of your chin here, and just get a sense of drawing your chin a little closer towards the chest. Just a micro movement opens the back side of the neck and spine, and then reach your crown to the sky, and you'll find the inner channel of the spine, the Sushumna, openly conducting energy back to the brain. expression on the face is relaxed and you're looking up towards the point between the two eyebrows. A very special and sacred moment. We'll take a few moments of silence here just to be inward in higher consciousness. As is natural, you can draw the hands into the heart and lift the sternum to meet the thumbs, broadness in the heart, and we'll call into mind somebody in our lives that could benefit from the energy that we've cultivated in our class today. Somebody specifically that you have an emotional connection to. And in that same light that we bathed in our Shavasana, see them enveloped in a blinding quality of light like nothing you've ever seen on this earth before. And whatever physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual troubles that are ailing them, let it be as natural as the breath, just evaporating from the body on exhale, leaving them, see them joyful and uplifted. And we'll lovingly let it be. Let's rub the palms together, knowing that your body is a channel for higher consciousness to flow through. Keep rubbing until you get some good prana between the palms. A little vibration or tingling. Extend the palms out into the field around you. Relax the body so that energy can flow through you. We'll send blessings out to the world through the vibration of Om. One round of clearing the lungs. We'll inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. And chant with me 3 rounds of Om. Deep breath to begin. Leave the hands extended for a few moments. Especially if you feel a good flow of energy, let it flow through you, knowing the channel is blessed by that which flows through it. Whenever you're ready, you can join the hands together in prayer and take a bowing of your head towards your hands. We're bowing to the divine nature within. Those soul qualities of love and peace and joy and wisdom that are always present, that are the essence of who we are. We bow to that divine nature not only in ourselves, but as the essence of all beings, no matter how they outwardly appear. And in honoring them and ourselves, we close our practice saying Namaste, Namaste. Take a few moments here and slowly flicker the eyes back open. So thank you all so much for sharing this beautiful morning with me. I appreciate you guys taking this time to come and nourish yourselves and practice. Now is an awesome time to sit and just be peaceful, whether it be outside, whether it be meditating, go for a walk. To the best of your ability, extend the benefits of your practice out into the day. Keep the energy flowing in a great way. So thank you guys so much. Feel free to say hello as well.